My name is George Treddenick. My badge number was 616 when I retired, and I retired from the Winnipeg Fire Department as a captain. And I had 37 years on the fire department. Yeah, it was seniority. I think in '91 I was promoted to lieutenant, and a few years later captain. And I retired as a captain. I became a firefighter in 1965, and I started in this station, which was number 3 station, which is now our museum. And I retired from number 14 station. I spent most of my career at number 4 station, Stradbrook and Osborne, approximately 14 years. And next to this station, it was my second favorite. Well, the group of us, 7 of us, started our Firefighters Historical Society in 1982, and with the intention of producing a book, printing a book, and which we did, which led to a collection of photos and artifacts, which led to the formation of the museum. We started with the first book in 1982, our 100th anniversary of the fire department. There was 7 of us founding directors that contributed to it, and it was written by a Vince Lee. And then the second book was around 1990, somewhere about there. And I was involved in both books, and contributing my whatever knowledge I had of the history. Well, when I got out of high school, I worked for the railway on the trains, and I loved steam engines and large machines such as locomotives. But I got laid off several times, and I heard the fire department was hiring, and they had big machines, and so I went to the fire department, and I never looked back. Yeah. I enjoyed everything I did. Well, of course it's changed equipment-wise and safety-wise, of course. When I started, there was little regard for safety, and equipment was really not state-of-the-art. But as things evolved, it became a much safer job. But the culture, I think, pretty well remains the same. Still the good old camaraderie and good times. Always a good meal. And lots of social activities outside of the working conditions. I think I enjoyed the whole career, but the best times were the times when you had a good crew and a good partner, and you were able to do good work and feel good about it. And I think my time at number 4, I had some really good people I worked with, and it made all the difference. Well, I had a long-time partner, Ellert Wattis, Kenny McLeod. Oh, there's a lot of good people. Can't name them all, but there were so many good people at 4th Station. That was a really good time to be working there. Good time to be a firefighter. Well, I think I had a few nicknames, but I don't think I can mention them.
Nice-ish?
They called me Iron Balls at one point.
Oh, right. I think it's a compliment, though.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't sound very productive. Well, I think the first apparatus I was assigned to in 1965 when I joined the department, of course, was one I always remember. It was a pumper company, and it ran out of the station. I had my first run out of here. I had my first fire death, and you remember those things. And then number 4's rescue out of 4th Station at Treddenick, Osborne. We had some really good times out of there and did some good work, I believe, and a lot of good memories. I enjoyed every position that I worked, but I suppose working out, again, forest rescue, I enjoyed that immensely because we were very busy, and we did not just firefighting, which was the most important, but we did a lot of medical calls, and we had a lot of successes, a lot of failures, but it was very rewarding. Well, was that hanging out here? But I don't think we'll get into that. I don't know, I guess we got a call in the South Osborne, and we came around the corner. It was a fire call, and we came around the corner, and the fire was coming out like a blowtorch. You could see it from a block away, and I'd never seen anything like it. And my partner and I, Elliot Wattis, we were able to get in, and we actually were able to rescue a lady. Unfortunately, she didn't make it, but no, her husband was in too, but he was found deceased. It was a good job, and we did the best we could, and it was really quite a sight. It was an old house, lots of wood and lots of old furniture and hardwood floors, and it was just I'd never seen anything. And it was a small house, so the fire was confined, and it was an amazing sight. Yeah, the branch man of Brian Sanborn, he was a real tough guy, and he got the first line in, and within about 5 minutes he had sort of knocked it down, and the second line came up the stairs with us, and knocking it down was relatively easy, but then putting the whole fire out, finding the hot spots and things and overhauling, which took us a few hours. Funny practical joke. Well, now they don't seem so funny, they were pretty cruel. What about measuring the rookie for a body bag? That's not too funny. Well, we were having drill, and I said to this rookie, get the body bag out, the rescue. He got it out, and I said, okay, lay down. He said, well, what for? I said, well, we got to measure, large, medium.
For his size.
For his size. And I got him to get in it. And the captain came and saw and asked what we were doing. Told us to get him out of there. It wasn't exactly funny. I feel bad now for him. He was the same rookie that he fainted at a fire, and we were taking him to the hospital. And he had only fainted, he wasn't hurt or anything. And I leaned over and said, hey, if you don't make it, can I have your sandwiches? But the officer said, you can't, he got all upset. He said, you can't talk to him like that. I said, no, I was just kidding. And then I said to my partner, no, I wasn't. Yeah, I had several injuries, yeah. I had to bail off a roof, a 10-foot roof. There was a flash over and the fire came out the window and I had to bail off this 10-foot roof with all my gear on. That was pretty,
How'd you get hurt? Or-
well, my knees, but I didn't report it. But I suffered a couple of sessions of smoke inhalation. I was hospitalized for carbon monoxide poisoning. Oh, and I cut my tendon in my hand once. We were in a apartment block in a suite and it was so hot and I didn't have a tool with me and I punched the window out and the glass came through my mitten. But I didn't realize it was cut until I came out and my mitt was full of blood.
No kidding.
And then we went to the hospital and I thought I just needed a couple of stitches, but the tendon was cut. But my crew came in with me and they were all giggling and laughing.
Yeah. How come you didn't report it? It just wasn't.
Oh,
when you jumped out
when I cut the tendon?
No. When you
Oh,
jumped
because in those days you were discouraged from reporting accidents because the officer had to put in compensation forms and then the chief would find out why you did this or that and all that. So he didn't bother. And now I'm paying for it.
What year was that?
It'd be about 66.
The last one.
Oh, yeah, it's changed quite a bit now. The shift work and things could be difficult at times, but I don't think it had a big effect because my wife and I both had jobs we really loved, and if you loved your job, you were a much happier person, happier home. Yeah, listen to your senior people and your captain. Learn your job and watch and learn and keep your mouth shut and do the best you can, training and at the fire scene. I think love your job, learn it well, and be good at it, and enjoy the people you work with, and try to keep a sense of humor, and don't let things get you down. Because if you've learned your job and you got experience and a good partner, then there's nothing more you can do, no matter what happens. You've done your best. Well, again, know that they're well equipped, well trained, experienced, and they're going to give you the best work that they can, and appreciate them. Yeah, well, I had an old captain, Ted Irvin, and again out of Forest Station. And we had a particularly bad fire. Anyways, I had to take a lady out of a second floor window, and it was in the middle of the night, and she jumped on me and straddled my arm, and she was so scared she peed on me. And she was cut from the glass and was bleeding on me, and I got down and handed her off to the rescue. And after a bit I went to the captain. I said, "Hey, Cap, she peed on me and I've got all this blood on me." And he said, "She peed on you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, buy a lottery ticket. It's good luck." But you can't use that. But anyways, because I was able to get her out with, she was cut and
Yeah.
scared and everything, but she was alive. And after I got her out, and after the fire was knocked down, he said, "Good job, kid." And that's about the best compliment you can get from an old captain, or, it's better than any kind of medal or anything. And I felt pretty good that he said that. But I did win the lottery once.
What? Get in there.
I don't think so. I don't think I had to. I think all the motivation came in the station with drill and things, and you had the expectation that you didn't have to give an order when you got to the fire. That I believe that all the training should be done in the station, not on the fire ground, and that the men should be. And with a good crew, that's what happened. There was very little talk at the fire ground scene. Officially thank? Well, there's a lot of people, most of them are dead. But I think my old partner, Elliot Wattis, he was a real good example. He'd been a carpenter. He knew building construction. He was a good firefighter. I knew that we could go anywhere together, and he knew fires. As a matter of fact, he had a rookie with him one time, and they were going through a fire, and Albert said, "It's in the roof." And this rookie said, "Well, how do you know we're not, they weren't on the scene?" He said he could smell it, the tar. So he knew his stuff. So, yeah, hey, don't ever tell him, but.
No. Of course not.
I was involved at the Hazelmere apartment block fire, where there was 10 fatalities, and I was part of the crew that was ordered in to recover the bodies, and it was quite a experience. I'd been on the job 9 years, but I had never seen anything like it. There was and how we found the people was kind of amazing. There was one lady sitting on a chest field waiting to be rescued. She was deceased. And another fellow in front of the fridge, with the fridge open, laying on the floor for whatever reason. I don't know what he was trying to do. And then the very next night, we lost a little girl in Elmwood. So that was it's a pretty hard time, that couple of nights. And the next morning, my wife and I left for Barbados. Much needed.
No kidding.
So it was an interesting time.
Yeah, good thing the job isn't like that all the time.
No, that was the worst. I think one of the worst in the history of the fire department. The most fatalities, but nobody was really rescued. It was by the time the fire department got there. It was a done deal. Everybody who was going to get out had gotten out, and anybody left was deceased. Well, I think originally firefighters were not that well paid, and if you wanted to have extras or even just get by, you had to have a second job. And I guess it became a tradition. And now firefighters are well paid, but a lot of them, because of the hours and days off, they have second careers, and I think it's good for them because it keeps them active, it keeps them involved in the community, and I see nothing wrong with it, and it makes for a better life for them and their families. Yeah. I really didn't have a second job, but I bought and sold and fixed up houses and properties, and it was like a second job. I didn't work for anybody. You know, you got people talking about, I had a chief and you work for me. I said, no, I don't work for you, I work with you.
Yeah.
We're a team. One person was asked to do a centennial project, and he assembled 7 of us to come up with an idea, and we came up with the idea of a book. And as I say, we collected lots of our archival material, lots of artifacts and photos, and which led to the formation of the museum. And we had, like I say, a group of 7 organized by Chief Jack Coulter, and I'm the last survivor. Well, it was our group, the Firefighters Historical Society, and the mayor at the time, Mayor Norrie, he was a friend of Jack Coulter's and was able to transfer the building over to the Historical Society in the way of a lease, and that's how it all came about. And we had different people over the years add to the getting it ready to open for the public, and then now we have it. My favorite part?
What's your favorite part? What's your favorite piece? Or
Well, you're sitting right behind it.
yeah.
The old Alec Logan, the steamer. It's an old steam pump, and in 1982, it's a 1882 model, and in 1982, me and my pal got it running. And we ran it for about a year, and you'd take it out front here and hook it up to the hydrant and run it on Sundays or special occasions. And one day the Mayor Thompson, and I made her a cup of tea from it.
Really?
Really. I wouldn't have drank it, but she had to. But it was a lot of fun to run.
Would it run again?
No. The boiler's condemned, and
Oh.
it'll never run again unless somebody comes up with an awful lot of money, $250,000 or so. And I won't be around for that. It's a good pump. There's an awful lot that, no call is ever quite the same. There's always something different about it, and something maybe you remember, some rescue call, or you were involved with the assisting in the delivery of 2 babies. It was not my favorite call, but a lot of interesting calls, but a lot of them you can't really tell anybody about them, really. Some of them were pretty horrible, that nobody needs to hear the details. Like I say, those things, they bother you somewhat, but I always felt I was the best trained person there at the time, and I did the best I could. Oh yeah, we had we had a young kid out at the forest station there, and he was a bit religious, and we had kind of a terrible one day. The young man burned to death, and we had to transport him to the hospital. And he was deceased, and he was very badly burned. And he had a hard time dealing with it because it was a pretty horrible sight. If he hadn't have been a rookie, we probably would have told him to suck up.
Right.
But we were kind to him. And he got over it, as far as we know. But sometimes, you never know. Might have came back on him years later. Because we had a couple with the same rookie, and who knows? I don't know. I didn't keep in touch with him after he retired. So who knows? Some of these things do come back on you. In the home, one of our guys, he's was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, which he suffers from today. And I think a lot of the maybe people I worked with did. A lot of them turned to drinking, divorce, and those kind of things, emotional things. Things come back to you, and it's how you deal with them.
Quite common, I think. It's quite common.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think of things too often.
Yeah.
Occasionally you think of, you'll see something or hear something, or even smell something that you'll smell smoke in the air, and you'll remember certain situations and fires. There was that rookie, and we had a fire death. It was pretty bad. It was a cold night, and we put the body in the back of the rescue, and there was steam coming off, and he said he could see his soul. So I said, "We'll open the vent and let him out." That was pretty cruel. And then the captain came back and said, "What'd you do to that kid?" We said, "No, well, nothing, Cap." That was Allard Wattis, too. He didn't do anything. He said, "Well, he had to go see his priest the next day." I was.
Did you ever to cook? Yeah, you were.
I was a good cook, yeah. I was
What was
a
your
real good cook.
specialty? What was your specialty?
Seafood. My wife was a flight attendant, and she would often do the Vancouver flights, and she'd bring me in fresh salmon and seafood, nice big, beautiful fresh salmon.
Lucky.
And it was great, yeah. We worked together at Force Station there. We had a terrific crew there at one point. Real good crew. One of the best I worked with, actually. They were all pretty good people. Yeah. Did I ever tell you the story about the first female on the job?
No. I don't think so.
Before women, the senior man did all the paperwork, reports and bookwork and stuff. We called them Brenda Broadass. And the first woman hired, her name was Brenda. I'm not kidding.
You do that on purpose?
No, well, I don't know. But no, we couldn't call the bookkeeper Brenda Broadass. Things changed quite a bit, but she was a really good person. I liked her. She was a real good worker. It's in the 80s, yeah. She was a good worker. We were at a fire. She was carrying a smoke extractor, and I walked up and I grabbed the other handle, and she said, "I don't need your help."
Lord.
Did he tell you how I killed the lieutenant at his station?
No.
He tells everybody I killed the lieutenant.
Why?
Well, this guy was an older guy and he was out of shape. He challenged me to a singles in volleyball.
Yeah.
And we played a bunch of games. And he beat me. And it was for a case of beer. And the guy smoked, and he smoked while he was in between games. Heavy smoker. And he drank all this beer, smoked all these cigarettes, and had a heart attack. So all the guys there blame me. He eventually died of it. That they blame me for killing him. All right, well, I hope it's okay.
Yeah, very good.
Yes, yeah.
So where do I look?
Me?
You can look at either the camera or Tara.
Okay,
You can look
I think
around.
I'd rather look at Tara than you.
You can look anywhere.
Well, Ed is going to be a little weird.
That's right up his alley.
He's all right, though. He's my friend. So I'm his only friend, apparently.
When I read that, I'm like, what was it? I can't remember.
Don't put that in.
No.
Covered a lot with it, yeah.
Yeah? Well, I hope it's
Good stuff.
not too boring or anything, but, and don't use some of the stuff.
I know. But that's the good stuff.
Yeah,
I know.
we could have, there's a lot of stories we shouldn't tell. That,
How did Mike get involved here?
Biswick, he was in high school and he came here one time and he asked if he could volunteer. Same, there was a Ben Bush, don't know if you remember him, but we do. He came to my station, 10 station on St. James there, and he was only about 10. I told Danny, I was the captain, Danny was working with me, and told him to take him around. He always remembered it.
Roger did or Danny did?
Both of them.
Both.
But I didn't remember Red Dude. But I remember Dominic when he came. He
Yeah?
was about,
Aww.
he came on an open doors one time. Or was it open doors or
Yeah, I think there's doors open, yeah.
doors open?
Huh.
He was in his turnout gear.